Shalom, everybody. Daniel here. I just thought I would add a little bit of extra spiritual information, some substance, some evidence that will build faith. Why? Because we believe that faith is the ultimate key. Faith is the thing that takes whatever it is that you're doing from the natural into the supernatural. So in order for you guys to get maximum benefit from the information Sarah has shared with you this week, I believe that some of this information I'm going to share with you now is going to assist to build your faith to get maximum benefit. In fact, for all of us who are searching for the great King, when we are studying His Word, faith is the way that we access maximum benefit. Okay, so for the past 8 years, we've been teaching people that in order to heal or to have abundant life, you got to watch the accesses to your soul. Right? You got to guard these certain gates. And I don't know if Sarah went through this with you guys, but from a biblical perspective, your soul is your blood. Okay? So it says in Deuteronomy, I think it's 12, it says the blood is the life. That Hebrew word that's translated as life is the Hebrew word nefesh, which actually means soul. Now the thing is, when I ask you what is your soul, it is your emotions, it is your thoughts, your awareness, aka who it is that you are, resides within your blood. Okay, and somehow your awareness and the storage of your memories or certain emotions are then somehow stored or linked to particular organs. Now, I can't tell you exactly how that works. I am still a student, and I pray that one day, as we journey on this ancient path, that Adonai will open up the understandings as to how the heart, the kidneys, the liver, etc., function. But anyway, this is the basic understanding. In the West, we're told that your thoughts or your experience of life is somehow in your head, and that's just simply not a biblical concept. So in order to heal or harm you, you or someone else has to access your soul. So there's three main ways to access the soul. That which it is that you smell, right? In your nose, into your lungs, into your blood. That which is that you apply to your body. It goes onto your skin, oil-based stuff. The scripture says oil sinks into the bones, right? So oil goes into your bones. You ask modern science, what do your bones do? Modern science tells us that your bones make your blood, which is your soul. The next one is that which it is that you eat, right? In the mouth, into the stomach, and then into the blood. So those are the three gates that you need to be watching, and make sure that you're putting life-giving substances. You're breathing in life-giving substances, you're applying life-giving substances to your body, and you're eating life-giving substance. So for today, I'm going to focus on that which it is that you eat, or Sarah's asked me to focus on that which it is that we eat. And I'm trying to make this not too long. So we believe that the Hebrew language is the language of creation, right? This is the source language. This language is the one, I want to say divine origin, but maybe that's not 100% correct, because Adonai is the one who splits up the languages at the Tower of Babel. So all the languages come from him. But this is the source language, if that makes sense. Just like how the Torah, the writings of Moses, is the source text that all of creation comes out of. So it is the most pure, the most powerful. We believe this is the language that the great King speaks. We believe this is the language that the Messiah speaks, or spoke, and will speak when he returns. This is the language that he says, I will return a pure language to his people. Right? This is the language. So we believe that this pure language, its letters are the DNA of creation. And when Adonai was making all things, he combined these letters together, the DNA of creation, and then he spoke them. And when he spoke them, everything that we know came into existence. Right? So therefore, if these letters are the DNA of creation, we believe that these letters are very powerful, and there's massive amounts of information that we can extract from the source text or source language. And rightfully so. In the Hebrew language, we get understanding from each Hebrew word, right? And I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but obviously each word has got a translation. However, it normally takes like 5 to 20 English words or whatever language you speak to try and explain what that one Hebrew word means. And when you're reading in translation, the translator has to choose one or maybe two of the 5 to 20 words. So you get a fraction of the actual information that's sitting on the page when you're reading in translation. That's why it's so important for us to get back to being able to read the text in the Hebrew ourselves. So that's one way that you can get extra information when you dive into what is the true meaning of each Hebrew word. However, at a deeper level, each letter has a pictograph, and there's information that you can draw from the pictographs. And at a much deeper level, each letter has a numerical value. Okay. Now this is not just like something that people dreamt up. Hebrew is alphanumeric. What does this mean? It means that in the Hebrew language, right, the language of creation, there are no numerals. There's only letters. So we believe this is the source language, right? The language that comes from the Creator, from the great King. And therefore, in the mind of the great King, letters are numbers, and numbers are letters. All right. This is the reason why it is that numerology or gematria exists. And this is the reason why it is a powerful way to extract extra information from the biblical text. Now, you say numerology, a lot of people start losing their minds. However, the New Testament gives witness to the fact that this is a legitimate ancient Israelite way of extracting information from the text. Where do we see this? It says that whoever has wisdom and understanding will be able to identify the beast by the number of his name, 666. Okay, so there the text says, if you have wisdom and understanding, you understand gematria. So for myself, definitely, I desire to have wisdom and understanding, and therefore I study gematria, because it's powerful, powerful information that you'll be able to extract from the text. So the entire scripture, especially the Torah, but the entire Hebrew scripture is an alphanumeric code, right? Alphanumeric code, and therefore it's a bunch of it's not a bunch, it's a sequence of numbers. And therefore, when you find two concepts, two words, or whatever the case may be, that have equal values, those two concepts are linked to each other. Right? This is the reason why it is that when science is trying to communicate with aliens, maybe they say in English and Afrikaans out there, but most likely not. The thing that they shoot out into space is mathematics. Why? Because it is the universal language. Right? And rightfully so. This language that we believe is the language of creation is alphanumeric. It is mathematically based. So anyway, okay. So what's fascinating with regards to the idea of the gate of that which you eat, the Hebrew word for I am is the word ani. It has a numerical value of 61. Guess what other Hebrew word has a numerical value of 61? Ocheli. Right? Ocheli means that which I eat. So in the language of creation, I am and that which I eat are equal. And why is that fascinating? Fascinating because in the West, we have a saying that says you are what you eat. And we've been teaching for the past 8 years, saying that each time you see a saying hang around in your culture, you must know that that saying is based in truth. And for us, truth is not just some random thing. Truth is that which it is that is sourced in the biblical text. So here we see the concept of you are what you eat is 100% biblical. Okay, so what does that mean? It means we need to try and eat shalom, right? Eat whole organic food. If you eat non-organic food, then guess what you are? GMO, right? If you eat highly processed food that's gone through all sorts of processing, is what? Is like turbulence. Then guess how you're going to be? Turbulent. Right? Whole food that's in the state of shalom. Okay, so we go a bit further than that. Another word that has the same numerical value of 61 is the Hebrew word Adonai. Now that one's fascinating. Why? Because Adonai means my master. Imagine that. Your food is your master. Now, how is that understood within the biblical text? One of the fascinating things is the Hebrew word for shepherd is re'eh, and guess what it means? The one who feeds you. And for sure, your shepherd is your master. All right? Now, we were chatting about meditation, and so I was speaking about how she was introducing the idea of meditation to you all, or biblical meditation. And again, if you haven't engaged with the understanding of biblical meditation, I would encourage you to go and watch biblical prayer meditation on our teaching website, ancientbiblicalhealing.com. It's free. It's mind-blowing. Meditation's all over in the scripture. Okay, everybody meditates. To meditate basically just means to cause your soul to rest on a particular idea, to pay attention to a particular thing. And everyone does it in a negative way. It's what it is that is understood as stress. All it is that you're doing is that you're meditating on negative stuff. So as human beings, it seems like it's easy for us to be able to do things in a negative way, but it seems more challenging for us to do things in a positive way, as in to shift our focus from negative stuff to positive things. So anyway, with regards to meditation, we were having a chat the other morning, and so I was speaking about one of the source texts for meditation, which is Proverbs 23 verse 7, where it says that, for as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And what was fascinating, that she pointed out the verse before verse 7, and this is what it is that it says. Now, keep in mind the idea of saying, guarding the gate to your soul, right? It says, eat not the bread of him that has an evil eye. All right, so this is a man who it is that has evil intent. If you ask some people, well, some scholars will say an evil eye means someone who's stingy, someone who's after profit. I think both those ideas of someone who wants to do evil, right, to do wrong or to harm, and someone who's driven by profit, very much represents the industrial food complex that we have today, right? So anyway, eat not the bread of him who has an evil eye, neither desire his dainty meats, right? His dainty food. Sure. In my mind, I'm straight away by the chocolate aisle, because that's where it is that I'm always browsing on the dainty meats of the evil-eyed man. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. The morsel which you have eaten shall you vomit up and lose your sweet words. Okay, so what does this mean? Everything in the scripture is dualistic, right? So if we are seeking for Psalms 23, we're seeking to have the good shepherd as the one who feeds us. Obviously, he's the one who gives us the organic and the whole foods, etc., etc. And he makes us lay down in green pastures beside still waters. Then there is an opposite shepherd, right? If there's a husband, Jehovah or Messiah, however it is that you want to see it, then there's an opposite husband. If there's a man who it is that has an evil eye, then there is the opposite of him that exists, the man who has the clean eye. So we believe that that's the Messiah, and we believe that this ultimate representation of this man who has the evil eye is Hasatan, the Satan, right? And that the industry, the industrial food complex, if you want to call it that, and the pharmaceuticals, etc., that is the shepherd who it is that is behind the whole system. Eat and drink, he says to you, however his heart is not with you. So that instruction to say eat and drink is the feeder. What is the feeder? The shepherd. This definitely is not the good shepherd. This shepherd's desire is to do nothing but to steal, kill, and destroy. So it is our prayer that we may seek out the good shepherd, the one who makes us lay down in green pastures beside still waters, the one who leads us along the ancient path in which we will find rest for our souls. Blessings.